Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advancement Center, to the world beyond magic and miracles, and to a new life yet again. We're indoors today. It's like winter. It is that time of year, but we've had so much beautiful weather. I love days like this when they're not every day for 6 months in a row, like I used to experience in upstate New York. But when they show up now and then, there's just such a quiet feeling. And even nature feels different as I drive, beautiful drive into Santa Barbara from up north. And in the quiet, there's just a completely different quality to the day. Sometimes it can be easier to focus on the spark within you, as Simeon has so brilliantly been guiding us to. Because as we're there and as we connect with our spark, there's so much that comes alive. There's so much that you're suddenly connected to, or your awareness to it has suddenly been enhanced. Today is such a quiet day for me. It's less words are available at the moment. But the flow continues. The energy, the electrical energy, all kinds of frequencies, vibrations, movement and flow beyond words, beyond definition. Can be a little deceptive because in the silence, there is so much happening. There can be so much movement, like in the eye of a storm. It appears there's no movement at all. There is no movement. It's quiet, it's calm. And just outside, a raging storm is spinning around. That's a bit like what's happening here in some aspects of planet Earth at the moment. So it's especially wonderful to relax in the eye of the storm. And you're also above it, in the sense that the ability that we have to be observers and to just watch, to get out our popcorn sometimes and watch the amusing show. But I find myself less and less even interested in the crazy dramas that are playing themselves out here. Because the more you step into your awareness of your own spark, and even more fun, which I'm just beginning to play with, that tiny space in between you and the physical world, where our magic resides, our interface. It's so much fun. I'm so excited to play and experiment with it more and more. And it's always interesting to watch oneself, because none of this comes from the mind or has anything to do with the mind. And yet it's so funny how the mind just loves to step in there so much of the time. But if you're just watching your own experience and are amused by it, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing wrong. It's just a really entertaining play, even your own experience here on planet Earth. This is one of those days where it makes me feel like I'm in the woods, I'm in the trees, I'm hiking up to the mountaintop, and there's no one around, and it's quiet. You might hear little birds now and then, the sound of a creek running by, but there's so much life and there's so much activity. And yet the sense is this incredible feeling of peace. So that's where I am today in this moment. It's like we're in a forest. And as I said, there's still so much life. Sometimes your awareness of the vibrations that belong to other creatures, not just the animals, but the ones that for now are invisible to us. But it's such an amazing place to be, because the sensitivities to all of the beings are very high in this place. Sometimes you'll even speak to them because your awareness of their presence is so strong, even though you can't see them physically. And I feel them all around me right now. The number of times I've seen the orbs in photographs. My own personal experience up north in the woods by the ocean. It was almost dark. It was a rainy, wet day. And I think that was the most I'd ever experienced these beings. And they're here now, just hanging around. Almost have the feeling of little fairies. And there is a lot of happiness here. There is a lot of playfulness and joy and appreciation for each and every one of us, for humanity, and how it's growing so fast. Because our presence, our elevated awareness, our sensitivities, our bringing our gifts in faster and faster and sharing it wider and wider. There's so much that we're bringing to all the worlds. And every one of them, every one of these beings, whether you can see them or not, is experiencing it and is reveling in it. And I can hear them saying, it's about time. There's so much gentleness and mischievousness, but it's all so light. And fun is the best word I can use to describe it, because I'm feeling and seeing the laughter. And the sparkles are flying everywhere. I don't know that I've ever been at a party quite like this before. It feels like a party, like closest I could say is like you're at a little kid's party where there's so much energy and so much laughter and so many sparkles. But isn't it amazing that this can be going on right here? And it seems so quiet and so calm. Every broadcast day, every time I come and sit here in this chair in front of this camera, is always so interesting for me, because I do not plan, things just come, and it's always different, and yet often the same but different. So on the days like such as today, when there's this sense of peace and calm, more so than most days, it's a very different experience for me. So I'm enjoying the party that's going on here, even though it seems very quiet. And I don't know if anyone that's joining us here today can feel the beings or even see the beings that I'm talking about. But they're having the time of their lives. And that's why we're here, to bring that to every being. It is life. So once again, this delivery is very different today. I have very few words, but I send you all this immense energy, feelings of bliss and joy that I feel swirling around me and through me. Even though it may not appear like anything is happening, it's brilliant what I feel. So on that very quiet and different note, I want to leave you but there's so much to play with. Whether you're in the presence of just yourself, whether you can feel the beings around you, whether you're with friends or family, there's so much to play with. So once again, have the time of your lives. Enjoy your own presence, your tremendous gifts that are just pouring in right now. Even if you don't think there's anything going on, that's likely your brain. The brain is what thinks. So there's nothing to look for, there's nothing to seek. Just enjoy yourself each moment. And with that, once again, it is with great honor that I wish each and every one of you a perfect life, perfect health, and a most brilliantly magical, mischievous future. Thank you.